So this is my 5 of the biggest mistakes I see on back day. And no specific order. I just wrote down about 5 things I see all the time, and I think they really need to be addressed. So let's just start out there. Your biggest one, everyone knows, is leaning back so far on your pull downs. Look, if you're leaning back so far that you're doing pull downs like this, and even using the momentum, either way, it changes the entire pull down into a row. I mean, you're just not even working the same muscle group. So, first off, everyone knows that. I got some issues with that. I'll explain one of my other. One of these I got later on down. It's just with your back placement. But the other one I have is maybe contrary to a lot of what other people are actually thinking, but mine is not using lifting straps. That is a huge mistake in my book. If you've ever used lifting straps, you know you can almost do 1 and sometimes 2 more reps on every single exercise you do. On every single set, you can do almost 1 and sometimes 2 more. And if you're doing 3 sets, or you're doing 1 set, you're doing 3 sets, you're doing 5 sets, you could easily be doing another 10, 15 reps. So it's ridiculous to think, and that's on 1 exercise. So if you're doing 5 by 5, it sort of works for that because you're on a certain limit, but anyways. But I mean, say you're doing 3 by 10, and you're able to do 1 or 2 more on every single one. You could normally be doing 12 almost on all 3 of those. There's 6 more reps. You add 6 more reps. Let's say you're doing back 2 times a week. There's 12 just on that 1 exercise times 52 weeks a year. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that you're not doing more reps. More reps will always get you more results. So that's just 1 exercise times, however many reps. And you include that over your entire back day, or however you got push-pull, however you got set up, anything back, Besides, if you're doing, say, deadlifts, I highly encourage you to use no straps. Just because you will learn your strength and your grip. You can also do grip strength. And then once your grip fails, then use straps, whatever. It's not a big deal. But on all your other back stuff, I highly encourage you to use straps. That's my own little super rant. But anyways, so the other thing I see is elbow placement. This is my number 3. Elbow placement. So many times you see, oh, there goes my lights. Back exercise. And hopefully this thing zooms in good or whatever. You see placements. You're just starting to do rows up here. Elbows high. There's so many other. You got your dumbbell, pull downs. Back here, elbows out. Up to the shoulder. Elbow placement. That's great for shoulder day, but for back day, it's not. Elbows need to track alongside, your hip and everything else. So that's a huge mistake I see so common on back day. Now 5, I'll go 4, is range of motion. Mainly, there's 2 exercises that have this range of motion, which is just ridiculous. One is your ego lifting dumbbell row. Okay, so this is where you grab your 350 or your 150 on the rack, and you lift it up. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you got this motion going on here, thinking that you're big bad man because you're only going 4 inches, right? Okay, you're just tracking your elbow right. Good job, and you're only moving 3 inches. So are you going to go on the squat rack and only go down about 3 or 4 inches too? That is a huge mistake. Get that full range of motion. Your elbows should come further back behind your back, period. It should not come in line. It should go as far back as possible. If you're unable to do it, drop the weight and do it again. So that's a huge one. T-bar row also. That T-bar row is a little bit different just because people put on the 45-pound plates. Put on 45-pound plates, they stick up to here using a small grip, and you're only able to come up here to here, and then the plate hits you in the chest, So I get away from that. I use the 25-pound plates, and I use longer wrist, or whatever it is, the holder on it. Right, so then the plates are here, my hands are here, and I'm actually able to come back up to here. So that was the range of motion. That's huge on back day. You see it so often. And then my last one is how to correctly use your spine in your lifting, so that way you're not going to have slip discs and herniated discs and all these other issues that go along with it. There's so much back rounding in deadlifts a lot, but I'm not even going to get into deadlifts. It's a whole nother video. But just on rows, cable rows, you over, because you love the stretch or whatever you think. You get that stretch, and then you come back into back placement, right? And you're doing this stuff, and then you're coming up here and you're keeping the good contraction here. It's still placing a ton of stress on your spine. Your nerves or your muscles have to connect your entire spine. And to connect your entire spine, they need to be aligned with your proper S-curve. If you don't have that proper S-curve, you're putting those joints, rubbing and everything else into all kinds of damaging positions. So do not round your back at all doing any sort of pulling. You see this with the overhead or the pull downs when you do it behind the neck. Right? You start going behind the neck, your S-curve starts not becoming the total S-curve or an exaggerated lordosis S-curve. When that happens, you're putting the wrong stress on the wrong lats, on the wrong muscles. It becomes more of a delt exercise. You're not getting your lats involved. It's just tons of other stuff. Also, you're overarching. You see the overarch, where you overarch so far when you're doing your pullback that you're still causing the same amount of stress, not about the same amount, but you're still causing stress on the same structures that are supporting your body. You also see it big time when people are doing pull-ups and they're using weights. They got the weight thing around their waist, and what happens is their feet come back. If you're doing pull-ups and your feet are locked behind your back, or you know how you tuck them behind you or whatever, you bend your legs and they're behind you, your feet should almost always be straight. And the reason you do that is because you actually want to tighten your glutes as you're doing the pull-up. Why do you tighten your glutes? Your glutes will erect as you tighten your glutes, you see how my pelvis comes back under? And that gets you in proper alignment of the spine. I don't know, hopefully you can see that. When you tighten your glutes, your spinal column erects perfectly straight. That is what allows you to carry so much load on your back. When you say you're just doing that, want to hold 600 pounds on your back, you would do it by tightening your glutes and making sure that you can hold that weight, And then that's how you learn to squat more as well. But anyway, it's a whole other subject as well. But tighten your glutes, and that will always align your spinal column and all your muscles underneath on the lower end. If you can do that when you're doing a pull-up, your spinal column will be in perfect alignment. If your spinal column is in perfect alignment, your muscles will be worked perfectly for what you're actually trying to work out. So there you go. Comment, complain, like, and subscribe.